What's up everybody, it's Ethan over here at Audi Fall River, and today I wanted to show you the difference between the 2024 Audi A7 Premium and the 2024 Audi A7 Prestige. Let's go. Once again everybody, it's Ethan over here at Audi Fall River, and today I want to talk about the difference between the 2024 Audi A7 Premium and the 2024 Audi A7 Prestige. So let's start out at the front of these vehicles, where the first major difference I'd like to point out is the headlights. Looking over the Prestige, we can see we have our LED matrix headlights. These headlights are super bright, auto high beams of course. Now these headlights are super fun. Of course you have your dynamic turn signals, as well as when you unlock and lock the vehicle, the headlights project a little bit of a nice funny picture onto the wall in front of you. Also, they do little dances when you unlock or lock the car as well. Looking over at the Premium, we can see we still have a beautiful headlight here. We do have our daytime running light as well. Once again, dynamic of course, but I really like how the Prestige just takes it more to a more elegant design for sure, and it gives you a little bit more of those fun features as well. Moving a little bit down, I want to point out also on the Prestige that these are headlight washers. When you hit the windshield washers, once every couple times, these will pop out and wash the headlight. Just really make sure that you can see the road in front of you when it's dark out at night. Super nice to have. Now, if we come over to the middle of the vehicle on the Prestige, we do have a front camera as well as a full overhead 360 camera in this car. Amazing system to use, super nice, as well as 3D controls, which we'll show you on the interior of the car as well. Also, these are your sensors for your fully automatic cruise control with lane guide assist. Super nice to have. The car will totally take over if you wish it to in heavy traffic situations. You do get this beautiful S-line styled bumper with some nice active aero vents on the side. Really refreshing to see real air vents on a car these days. Many manufacturers are making them fake, and of course you have that on the Prestige model as well. I do also want to point out that both of these cars do have parking sensors, but on the Prestige you have them all around the whole entire car, as well as on the side. Super nice to have. Well, in the Premium you do also have your parking sensors, of course. It's just there's more configurability with the Prestige. So moving on to the back of these vehicles, I want to start over with the Premium. Now of course you do get your active rear spoiler, super nice to see on the Premium, as well as this beautiful LED tail light goes across the whole back of the car. Looks super good at night, and once again these taillights are super sharp as well. Now moving down, we do see we have some beautiful chrome as well as some parking sensors as well. That being said, let's check out the Prestige. Now once again, of course, we do have our active aero with our rear spoiler here as well. And I want to point out how this beautiful Audi logo matches against the nice black metallic paint. It looks beautiful in the sunlight over here in Fall River. Now moving down, once again, we do have our parking sensors, of course, with some chrome paired with this really nice gloss black trim down here as well. While we're over here, I might as well show out the tailgate space on this A7. Now of course on both of these cars you do have the clamshell design, which is really nice to have. Over here in the back we see we have our 12-volt outlets, as well as a lot of space with this really nice cargo mat as well. We have some ambient lighting in the trunk to provide some visibility, which is also nice to have, as well as some coat hangers here in the back on the sides. Just pull them down right there and you can hang things, which is super cool to have. Of course we do have our privacy screen for the rear as well that is included. Of course, both of these vehicles do have a power closing and locking trunk, which is really nice to have. Starting over here to my right, I want to talk about the Premium. Now, of course, you do get leather seating surfaces in this car as well. However, in the Prestige, not only do you get leather seating surfaces, but you also get leather on all of your trim, like on the doors as well. Now, going back to the Premium on my right-hand side, you do have 3-zone climate in this car, which is super nice to have. But in the Prestige, you have 4-zone climate as well as rear heated seats, and the seats in the Prestige are also perforated leather as well. Now, also of course in the Premium, you do get a nice audio setup, but in the Prestige, we do have a full surround Bang & Olufsen sound system that is complete with a sub in the rear, as well as 3D sound control and surround focus as well. But I do want to point out on the Prestige of the A7, you do have soft closing doors on all 4 doors, which is really nice to have. Now moving up to the front, let's check out the cockpit and front seats of this 2024 Audi A7 Prestige. Moving on to the interior of this 2024 Audi A7 Prestige, I'm going to start out with the front seats for the driver and passenger. You do have the option of getting the luxury package with a Premium Plus or a Prestige, and this car has that. And what that adds is your leather and your Alcantara on your door panels, as well as massaging seats for the front driver and passenger. Now it's really easy to use. You just hit the button on the side of the seat and it'll bring up a menu on your center screen. You have many options to choose from, as you can see, and you can also change your intensity as well. Super easy to toggle. Once again, just hit that stop button or the start button. You can exit out of that menu right there. Now that is for both the driver and the passenger of this vehicle, which is super nice to have. Now moving on over to the steering wheel, if we look at the lower left, we have our cruise control stock. Both of these cars have cruise control, but once again, the Prestige has adaptive cruise control. Now that means that the car will apply the gas and the brakes for you if you would like it to. Also, this car does have hands-free in traffic, or if you have your hands on the wheel on the highway, it will steer for you, which is a very nice feature to have. Now you can toggle that over here by hitting this button on the end of the turn signal stock. I really like how Audi has made it super easy to toggle all of these different features. Now, moving a little bit farther upward, we can see we have our heads-up display. This gives us our information about our lane guidance, our speed, our navigation route details, and many more. You could also see your music up there as well, which is a great feature to have. Now, move a little bit down again with me to the gauge cluster. The one other thing I'd like to point out about this gauge cluster is that because this car does have the lane guidance assist, it has its own screen to show you all of that information as well when you have the lane guidance active. Now, moving on over to the center screen, mostly the climate control screen is where we can see a couple of those differences. Now, we do have our parking assist, which means this vehicle will park for you, which is very, very nice. We also have heated and cooled seats in the Prestige, very great to have once again. And if we go over, we have another button to control our driver assistance. We have our maximum, our basic, and our individual controls as well, so you can really make the driving experience yours. Now, I would also like to point out that you have a button to bring up your cameras, and like I mentioned earlier, we have cameras for our front, our back, an overhead camera, which is very nice to have, as well as our 3D camera system. As you can see, you drag your finger around and the car will show you a 3D render of it, which is super, super cool. A lot of these automakers don't have this, and it's very nice to see it in this A7. Now, moving over to the passenger side of the vehicle, another difference for the Prestige I'd like to point out is that not only the driver, but the passenger as well can set their seating position to 2 positions. Now, in the Premium, you can set that for the driver, but not for the passenger. So it's nice to see that for the passenger in this vehicle. You also do have your Bang & Olufsen as well in the front. You can see you have a nice chrome strip on the bottom of the door at that speaker, very nice to have. And at nighttime, because this is the Prestige model, you can see that we have ambient lights throughout this whole entire interior. Now, if I go over into my vehicle settings right here and hit light and visibility and go to interior lighting, we can see that we have our brightness as well as many different colors here as well. Now you can make certain areas different colors, and you can really configure this interior to be your own. One thing I do like is this gloss black strip that follows the screen. Another cool feature is that this Quattro badge at night will actually light up to a color of your choice that is controlled by, once again, this section of the infotainment system right here. Now, moving on to the interior of the A7 Premium, I do want to point out that there are things in this car that still make it a beautiful Audi. Now, starting off with the center, we can see that we have this nice black wood trim paired with the silver and gloss black on this interior. Really looks nice. Also, we still do have our fully digital gauge cluster. You can see we have navigation in this car as well with a 3D mode, which is super, super nice to have. Now, we do still get our basic lane guidance, but the car does not fully take take over for you in traffic like the other one does. And we do still have cruise control, of course. It is just not adaptive cruise control in this vehicle, so it will not brake for you automatically. It will brake for you if it does sense that the vehicle is going to get into a crash, which is a very nice thing to have in this trim level. Now, I do want to talk about for the driver, once again, you still can set up to 2 different driving positions for the driver. You just don't have that same function on the passenger side of this vehicle. Now, if we go over to the center display and center console, of course, we have our 3-zone climate with heated seats for the passengers as well. Very nice to have. And we do have this button to bring up our rear camera and front and rear parking sensors as well. Of course, we do have our different driver assistance modes by this button right here. You can see we have various things like our speed warning, so if you're speeding, the car will let you know of that information as well. Moving on over to the passenger side of this vehicle, I do want to point out that of course you still get all of the beautiful design elements of this Audi that are mentioned in the Prestige. You do still get this nice silver paired with this gloss black trim, as I mentioned earlier. You do still get, of course, your fully leather interior in the front of this vehicle, and the white stitching on these black seats is absolutely immaculate. I do also want to point out the quality of this vehicle is on another level. In both of these cars, Audi has done an amazing job of making sure that everything is flush and fits in with each other. Thank you for watching my tour on the 2024 Audi A7 Prestige versus the 2024 Audi A7 Premium. If you have any questions on these vehicles, they are both currently listed for sale on our website, and you can reach us at 508-678-5555 and let us know in the comments which one you would choose. My name is Ethan Doucette. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.